PhD journey, I think everybody should understand that the route you are doing for PhD journey is different from the other person who has been passing through. So in here, what we are going to do is just to share some few stuff that before you get started, you need to be aware. You need to be aware. And with this awareness, gives an opportunity to others that they may know which route to pass. In general, there are no specific notes, but the route is almost the same. PhD is a journey. It's a journey just like any other journey you are planning to undertake. A PhD is an investment, just like the way other people are interpreting. It depends with the way you are looking at the journey that you want to get through. But again, there is a reward for that journey, and the reward is for you to have a PhD. And we should know that after your PhD, there is no any other classes you are required to attend after your PhD. No more class. That's the end of class in the world. And that's the apex level for academician. PhD is authority to speak, authority to speak. So when you have a PhD, you have authority to speak. But if you have masters, you have authority to practice. And these are, for you to get that journey, you are getting a journey into the journey of the arrogant people, arrogant. It's all about arrogancy. PhD is all about arrogancy. And you need to know you are going to meet people who are more arrogant. They are more arrogant, the way they look at things. You need to be very much critical. But the good thing is nowadays there are so many institutions that you may find in the country. So you may start looking more opportunity to join a PhD. Now, my presentation is all about, just like the way Kasmil has said, to tell one another, how did you get this route? And what can you tell to others? We have to share some experience of this route. Before getting admission into any university for PhD, right now, at least you should understand you might have undertaken some activities. What would we say? Take much time to work with people, to work with community around, to work with organization. But when you are working, you need to know what is your future expectations. You will discover a lot when you are working with people. When you interact with community, you will discover so many things to write down and prepare yourself for PhD. And out of that, it will give you competency. It will give you competence and confidence in terms of even to secure your personal consultancy assignment. If you interact with community around, with the people, with the organizations, other organizations, apart from IAA, you need to develop that capacity. Which organization? So you develop work plan. That's what you should be doing. When you interact, you will discover a problem. You will discover the topic, you see. And also read different national policies. It is out of national policy you can understand the problem. You can understand the problem that we are facing. You can understand what needs change. If you don't read national policies that are broken down in terms of 2025, 2030 directions, it's going to be difficult for you to figure out which direction you want to undertake. And also you need to use the power, the inborn power, to predict some stuff, out of reading, you can predict. Out of interaction, you can also predict, because there is no single formula that you may use to do some prediction. There's no single formula. So that is before you get admission into a university. You must, at least you should have this kind of background. Not necessarily you might have passed this way, but it will make you more perfect to engage for more serious issues for your future. Why I'm saying this, many students rush, start developing a topic without knowing the problem. So this is the challenge. And when you develop a topic without knowing the problem, it is where you find the students who cannot be able to identify, to make analysis of the problem, because their capacity to interact with community has been lowered. The problem should be the core to be discussed, to be discovered. You have to discover the problem. You have to discover what are the causes for this problem and what are the effects for this problem. And the only way for you to do this is to make interaction with people, to make interaction with the society, to make interaction with the villagers, to make interaction at the district level. So the way you move around, you will know the problem. You will certainly know the problem. You can also examine the effect of that problem. And it is where the researcher needed to develop a topic out of the problem. So you'll find people joining a PhD, but they don't know what are they exactly trying to address. They don't know. These are so many. That's why even when you find our students at the level of master's level, you look at the problem statement, you clearly see what is the problem. He might be trying to explain in a different way, but actually the problem is not identified because the problem by itself is not discovered as a problem. So because they have less interaction with the society, you'll find yourself preparing a topic, which is a traditional topic. For example, for us, you may say inflation and maybe inflation and the exchange rate, inflation and the production. These are traditional. So you'll find yourself falling into the traditional research that everybody has been doing. Nothing new you are coming up with. Nothing new is going to improve the policies. You are looking, so that is the challenge for so many people, including our master's students, why they start developing a topic without knowing the problem. You need to own the problem. You need to be part of the problem, and you need to develop a solution. And when you make analysis of the problem, you'll develop analysis of the problem, and you will be able to address. So you will ask yourself, Mr. Chairman, I think someone is talking while we are in the class. So, yeah. Okay. So what are you trying to come up with? And what can you address? Where, you see, at what level you are trying to address? Maybe at village level. You should be aware with that village. You should be aware with that word you are trying to address. If it is a district, you should be aware with that district problem that is existing. If it is at national level, you should also be aware with the nation itself, which parameter you are trying to address. What is the national issue you are trying to address? When you are preparing for it, it is where you can find yourself developing a topic. So people start with a topic, then they go and make analysis to the problem. Say, I have discovered a topic, and I think this topic I should go and start doing into the level of PhD. No. It's a very long route. You may find yourself, you meet your supervisor, and your supervisor can change your direction because you don't have confidence of what you are trying to address. You know, you need to own the problem. You need to own the problem. Owning the problem, it will suggest you which topic you are to address. You see, so many people go for PhD without knowing what are they trying to address. They only have a topic. And this is the very serious problem. The very serious problem. That's why we say the first thing you need to develop much time with the community, much time with the people, much time with the organization, read different national policies. Out of that, you will know which problem that exists in your organization, for the nation, at the district level, and at any level you are trying to address. So don't go for PhD if you don't have any topic. You'll be just like a baby who is about to go into PhD. So without, going into class, baby class, without knowing why are you attending class grade 1, without knowing why are you attending grade 1. So if you want, right now it should be your route, trying to examine the problem. You can write the problem with the 2 pages, make analysis, and out of that problem, develop your interest. So out of that problem being identified, that this is the problem that the nation is facing, now you develop motivation on the problem being identified. So you develop motivation. You must be motivated that I want to address this. I can speak about that, and I can defend about that, and I want this should be part of my life. So that's why we say don't go for PhD if you don't have analysis of the problem and also the motivation to address the problem. And this you will get it from people. We also say you should, at this level, you should be attending different conferences. Now, it's not necessarily you should be attending international conference because of financial problems that we are constrained to. You can attend local meetings. You can attend a village meeting. You can attend a ward meeting. You can attend district meeting. So it is out of these meetings that are happening around the communities, you can discover the problem. You can discover a problem. You see, you can have government officers meeting. What are they talking? What are the key issues? So out of that, what is new you think you should be coming out? These people, they are facing this type of problem. I think this is my area of motivation. Now, you can discover this once you interact with people, with communities. Actually, once you interact with them, you'll find yourself having some consultants assignment dropping into yourself. It reminded me before we joined the PhD, then I find myself, I had, through interaction, it is where I had to get number of assignment by personal, by people had to call myself, and I had to go and help them in terms of addressing the issues. And to some extent, you'll find yourself using students to come and work with you to do the same consultants assignment. You see, preparing the report and submitting the report, defending the report. Because when you interact with the government officers, they will give you a job because they will know you are also serious. You want to become part of the problem solver. So that is a much important point you should undertake before you go into a PhD, to develop capability for yourself. You see, so you must reduce working indoors, working and living indoors. So take much time to go out and interact with the people. You will see what is happening, because you may find yourself, if you are living more indoors, you will know less about what is happening in the industry, the way you interact with the low-level people with low capability. You will know which topic you can address. And that's why, even in Tanzania, there is a gap between academician and non-academician. The way non-academicians are talking is very different, because some of us, we are living indoors. And when you are indoors, is a problem. It's a very serious problem, and you should try to phase it out, to change our country and build connection with people, different type of people, people who are poor. They will help you one day. They will give you analysis. You know, when you interact with the poor, he has a lot of treasure. He has a lot of skills that yourself, you don't have those skills, despite of saying this person is a poor man. So it is important you interact with any type of person without any discrimination. So get some time. You should be getting sometimes, you visit the rural area. Out of visiting the rural area, you can also establish gap in a society and also in literature when you are reading different literature. This I'm talking is before you start joining your PhD. This should be your homework, but you have your roadmap. These are the things that I want. This is what will be happening. So develop. Number 7 is develop a topic based on the problem and interest. This means that problem that is happening in the society, you must find out the area of specialization. What should be the area of specialization? Like, for example, today, a nation is talking about COVID-19. Now, if we are talking about COVID-19 right now, what should be your position in line with your specialization? So for us economists, we find you can have a series of topics. Right now, you can talk of liquidity, how COVID and liquidity, you can investigate that one, because people are talking, hakuna hela bwana, hakuna hela. So, but nobody is coming up with the paper. Now, when you go, you interact with people, you will receive, but because you are living indoors, now you will see yourself being narrowed. You cannot find a specialization, which topic to investigate for PhD. You see, so nowadays you will see many people are writing research related to COVID with regards to specialization, their area of specialization. So develop a topic based on the problem and the interest. And also what we say, read different journals based on the problem and interest. You know, let me remind you, a PhD is all about yourself. You are the only one who knows the problem. You are the only one. Now, your supervisor do not understand your problem. But if you fail to express the problem, then they will say, there is nothing new you are coming up with. There's nothing new you are coming up with. So it is your responsibility to develop, to read different journals based on the problem and develop interest. And also, you should make analysis of the gap. What are the gaps? You see, like right now, we have COVID. So people, they can establish gap. There are so many gaps because COVID is new disease in the society. But how do you link with the economy? How do you link with the marketing? How do you link with the ICT? How do you link with banking? How do you link with finance? So everybody can get his own part to make analysis with regards to research. And this one, of course, it will depend with your background, and that will assist you to establish a gap. Once you know you have been reading so many journals, and these journals can help you to establish gaps. So out of that one, it is time for you now to write a brief synopsis. No spelling, this is spelling right there, not synopsis. It is synopsis. So you write a brief synopsis regarding the problem itself. So and the research in a brief, maybe maximum of you can write 7-8 pages. That one will be satisfactory for you to start going. So start looking for a university. Which university you think you can go. So search, get some time and search for a university and supervisor that you think you can have the similar interest under supervision, because there are other supervisors might not be interested to supervise you because of your topic and because you don't have any new idea that you're about to address. So this one is important. You should know that your responsibility is to check for your university, and also you have responsibility to check the supervisor. For example, in India, where I was studying, they give you time to assess all the professors around. So you move around, you will check their CV, you will check the CV is being posted, you can request CV from the professors, and they will give you much details that this is my area of interest. You can check. If you find it's not in line with your interest, you find another one. And that's why for you to get admission, it's not like the way you get admission into masters, where you can go and get admission by next month. It is easier. No, at the level of PhD, you need to find someone who will supervise you. Who is your supervisor? Who has similar interest with your topic? And that one is also very important for you to start observing. So before you go, you need to search them. You need to search them. You can request, you can write them through email, requesting their CV, and also you can share the synopsis that you have and so on. And if they're interested, they can say, yes, with this one, I'm interested to supervise you. And I think that is the direction. But this is at the level of PhD. It's just like when you're about to go and see a doctor, medical doctor. If you're about to go and see a medical doctor, most of the time you need to assess that medical doctor. If you want to get the operation, you need to know how serious is the medical doctor is in terms of taking care of the patient. So some doctors are not serious, some are lazy, some don't want to take care of the patient. So you need to know. And how many people, how many people has been taking care, maybe kuna madaktari wengine ambao ukienda kwake unakufa kesho. So you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful when it comes to searching for supervisors. So some supervisor can motivate you because they become part of the problem. They will understand and then you can play around. Because remember, supervisor is someone whom you are going to stay for 4, 5 years, 6, or maybe 10 years. So this is your mate, this is your brother, this is your sister, you see. You need to find someone with interest whom you can match in terms of the performance, and he should be ready to assist you in any way. And that is the position. Point number 12 is plan, start time and finish time. So you must have assumptions. I want to start from this year and end up this year. So if you don't have a plan of action for yourself, and this plan you must share with your family, because it has some consequences on the way. You may plan for 3 years, but you may not end up in the 3 years. You may end up in 10 years. Then there is a sacrifice you have to make. A sacrifice is needed, and this is very important. Without you sacrificing is another issue that you'll find yourself having trouble. So you'll have to sacrifice family issues. If you are staying with them all the time, you are playing around with them, it is a high time you can find yourself living indoors for so many hours, 24 hours, and also you need to make sacrifice for your friends, because you know once you start a PhD, you'll be forgetting some of your friends, because you'll not be interacting with them daily as the way you used to do. You need to also to check out your love affairs and the clubs and other associations to which you have been attending. That is the time when you say you are ending, because now you are going to be baptized with the fire of PhD. Now you can't be baptized with the fire of PhD. At the same time, you attend the clubs, you engage yourself into love affairs, the family matters are going as usual, and the friends you interact. No, you will fail. And also you want to have a stable income, just like the way you used to get. No, it will not be there. You will need to sacrifice yourself and say, no, here I have to sacrifice some money. They will call you for consultants assignment to say, I'm sorry, I don't have time. Hey, there is good money. You will get good money. Come for consultants. I say, no, I don't have much time. Why? You have to sacrifice. So you will discuss with your family, because it has some implications. Which one do you want? Do you want money or you want a PhD? Because so long as you are academician, we want you to have a PhD. So long as you're academician, we want you to be having a PhD. That is the level, that's the apex. There's no more other class apart from the PhD. That's the end of classes for academician. The rest is just a matter of time, you will get it. Stay focused, stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. So you will have to stay focused. And also you need to plan for uncertainties. There are some uncertainties that will be happening. You need to plan by yourself. Now, which route you will have to take? And you will need to plan for the route. There are others. Check the one route is by thesis only, by thesis only. So you can do your PhD by thesis only. So you can start right now. Based on what we have said, now you can start by thesis only. You start preparing your proposal, you defend your proposal, you go, once it is accepted, you go for data collection. And you can, if you find no, you take route number 2. That is, you do by coursework and thesis. So you start getting in a class as usual, just like the way a master's student is doing. You have to do the exam. You will have to make sure you pass. You will have to make sure you attend coursework, and then you defend your proposal. After your proposal, then that is the time when you will start they will give you a chance now to go and collect data for thesis writing, and that is very important. And also, what is also very important is within, whether you are selecting by thesis or by coursework and thesis, but you will need to identify your selection in terms of approaches. The approach can be quantitative approach that you think you can use, and you can use the qualitative approach. Or nowadays, that is very common, people use mixed up approach. People use mixed up approach to make more research that is more informative than rarely people tend to criticize, is when you combine the two. When you combine the two, then you find yourself, meaning that you have the mixed up approach. That is the best one for nowadays. It has less criticism because you can prove from primary source. You can also prove from secondary source and establish linkage. But again, whether you use the quantitative or you use the qualitative, you will not run away from mathematics. For so many universities, for so many supervisors, they require, even, when I say mathematics, even, standard deviation, covariance, correlation, and regression, those simple mathematics, average, growth rates, and so on, you need to know, because you'll have number of respondents, and you will need even to develop the standard deviation to determine the normal distribution curve of your data, to check for skewness, and so on. So you cannot run away from mathematics. You cannot run away, whether you use quantitative or you use qualitative. So get some time to learn mathematics. Get some time to learn mathematics. Decision criteria, all this 5% level of significance, these are scientific decisions. Get some time to learn mathematics. Do some review. Why 5%? You see, if you are using statistics less than 30%, you're using your data, sample size less than 30%, it means it is one tail distribution curve. So it is different when you are using data that are beyond 30 sample. When you are using data beyond the 30 sample, it means you have two tails. So what is the meaning of two tails? You need to go for mathematics. So that's why I'm saying mathematics is very important. Whether you use qualitative approach or you use quantitative approach, you at the end of the day, you will justify scientifically that this is very important issues from mathematical point of view. So it is important you know what are you writing. What are you writing? So you can start doing right now. You can learn by yourself. If you have forgotten, revise it. Get some time to revise your mathematics. Those jargons for mathematics. With us in economics, we say econometrics. Get some time to do much econometrics. Then you'll find yourself, life becomes easier. Now, joining the PhD club, this is not an easy task when you are joining a PhD club. This is the club. Some other people may not want you to join. They will criticize your paper until you run away if you're not strong enough. You should be, as I said, you should be strong enough to know your problem and what you are trying to address. You are the only one who has been in the field. Your supervisor has never been in the field. What he's trying to do is to check whether you understand what you are about to address. So joining a PhD club, this is the club just like any other club, Lions Club, what club, any club, is very difficult, and you'll be subject to criticism on the way, because you need to be baptized. You need to be baptized into the fire of the PhD. So criticism will be there. People will try to kick you out of the rail, and you'll find yourself defending. If you are defending proactively, you'll find yourself becoming successful. So what I will say, stay focused. Stay focused with the program. When you stay focused with the program, you will find yourself finishing in time. Work very closely with your supervisor, with your supervisor. And I feel very sorry are not capable of meeting their supervisor. You ask them, and they will tell you, I met my supervisor only once after 6 months. No, that's very bad, very bad. And when you go back, he tended to forget what he was supervising. That is the problem, and that's why people finish very late to get their PhD. They cannot finish in time, and that's very bad. So to places where I was studying, we used to have a daily meeting, and you prepare daily report. Today, you are working with your supervisor, you leave behind a report and agreements, and out of those agreements, then tomorrow, a supervisor will assess the yesterday report. What we agreed, you will do. What we agreed, you will read, and so on and so on. So you will have daily report. You need to have a folder for daily report. You need to have a folder for weekly report. And you need to have a folder for quarterly report or 6 months report. This is very important, because the more you interact with the supervisors, is the more the chances for you to graduate in time is becoming. So you need to be very close with your supervisor. Remember, you are interacting with someone whom you will stay with him for 4 or 5 years or 6 and so on. So that is just like a brother. It's not your enemy. So you for our friends where I was studying, they use the theory of coaching and mentoring. So you need to be mentored with your supervisor. You need to be mentored with your supervisor. You will need to present your report to the school, if it is possible, depending on the requirement of the school itself or the faculty itself. They might need a weekly report. Make sure it is being submitted and it is being filed. So every student at the level of PhD must have a file, and that file is kept there for assessment that this person is serious, this person is doing some activities. So that is very important. Attend workshop and seminars, and possibly with your supervisor. So sometimes you need to attend a seminar with your supervisor. It is common in other where I was studying that you attend any international conference, you must be going with your supervisor. You must present your paper with your supervisor. Your supervisor needs to own the output of that paper you are presenting in the seminar. You get challenged. They will challenge you both, your supervisor and yourself. You get challenged, and they improve your paper. So at the end of the day, you find that is the trend, and present papers in the conference, and you need to present papers in the schools itself, and develop good relationship with your supervisor. And also, you should be ready to work 24 hours times a day until you forget which day is today, whether it is Friday or Thursday or Sunday. So when you are doing a PhD, for you to sleep abnormal hours and working abnormal hours is very common. It's very common. It's not new. It's very common. So that you join the club for the PhD. You join the club for the PhD. You need also to learn by yourself. If you attend by coursework and thesis, you will have to attend through classes, different software for research, different software for research. You can learn Starter, you can learn eView, you can learn SPSS, you can learn RStudio, you can learn Lizred. There are so many research software that you may find yourself knowing. So actually, before you go, you should get one, or if not one, two. Get two software that are very common. Learn it by yourself. Attend the short course. You need to find it. Sometimes you can finance yourself to go for short course. You see, you can finance yourself, you go for short course, you get the knowledge. When you go now, it will help you at the time when you are doing your PhD. So you will have, when you are in the university, make sure you attend seminars. Attend the seminar for it. You'll find yourself becoming more competent. Now, the issue of funding. The issue of funding, of course, the issue of funding, I start by saying, be ready to spend your income because PhD is yours. Be ready to spend your income because PhD is yours. It's not of the organization, is not of anybody else. So your sponsor will give you money, but if you find it's not enough, then be ready to use part of your salaries to make sure you finish in time. Because you have target, you focus on the target. If you don't have target, you say you keep on waiting for the sponsor to give you funding, but those funding are not enough for you to undertake all those activities, to go for international conference. And you know the way international conference is expensive. It's more expensive. Some international conference cost you about $700 US, others are $900 US. So you should be ready to sacrifice part of your income to make sure you attend the conference. Now, what you need to do during the PhD defense, for PhD defense, you must avoid plagiarism at any cost. Avoid plagiarism at any cost. Because if you don't avoid plagiarism, it's going to have serious consequences for you, especially when you are writing. So you must make sure you develop skills on how to eliminate plagiarism chances. So, when you paraphrase some words, it is automatically reducing. When you acknowledge authors, it is automatically reducing chances of plagiarism. So at the level of PhD defense, you must be like that. You need to be tough because you are the only one who knows the problem. So get tough, get tough. The rest don't have. They are listening from you. Don't write anything that you find you cannot defend, you cannot explain. Write something that you know you can defend, you can explain it. Otherwise, you'll find yourself having some problems. So, as I said, you are the only one who knows the problem. And if you are aware, stay focused. Stay focused on that. Make sure nobody is taking out. Once you agree to be taken out of the road, you start afresh. So you are 3 years, you are 4 years, now becoming nil. You are starting afresh. So stay focused because this is the club. You need to join the club. They will test you with one question, and out of being tested, they know you are not aware. They will take you out, and you find yourself, you start afresh. So stay focused, and you must be stronger with it. And you shall have a series of reports. Remember, you should have a series of reports. Some of the report you may find yourself mixing up. So you need to prepare those reports in terms of version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can write up to version 20, then you delete it. You start afresh again. You delete it. You can delete it 10 times. You can mix up the document. But if you have a good system on how you can record your version, that will be very good for yourself and for your success. Keep the right version all the time. Keep the right version all the time, and be careful with your health. Remember, Why I'm saying be careful with your health, because if you don't, you are spending 24 hours sitting on the chair. That is most dangerous for your health. So you need to adhere with the healthy system. Check yourself. Your health is okay. You can stay 24 hours times 7, just reading journals and writing, developing the model, whether this model can work, whether that one can work, or maybe that one can't work. You can develop a model and develop a model, delete a model and get the new one. Maybe the one that you have deleted is the right one. So these are things. So check your health. Check your health, including your brain, including your normal health, your blood sugar, and so on, because most of us, we go into PhD once you are already matured. Now, can you finish a PhD in time? Not sure. We're not sure. You can't finish in time. Not sure about the time, but not less than 4 years. Not less than 4 years and beyond. And very few people can complete in 3 years. Very few people can complete in 3 years. For you to finish a PhD in time, it will depend with the issue under investigation and your supervisor and the other faculty requirements. The faculty's requirements, including paper publications and conference and seminars and so on. All these, you need to make sure you meet them. Yes, you can finish in time. But you need to have very high commitment. High level of commitment is needed once you are doing your PhD. Then this is phase 1. If Kashmir will allow me, I will continue with the phase 3, phase 2. But let me stop here for now. I welcome if there are some questions we can try to attempt. Welcome. Kashmir.
Kembura, you may continue.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, I hear you.
Yes, Dr. Maitete.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Actually, it is very good. But I have a question, and it's with regard to forming or create a research problem. And
yes.
For this case, let me be a little bit practical. When I look, for example, at most of the master's students' theses, I find most of the year departures are going to the it's like they are doing look at the literature we are. So can you assist us to understand, especially when we are developing a research problem, how can we distinguish a research problem and a consultancy problem, for example?
Very good. When you check for the consultancy problem it will depend with the organization itself. What do they have and what do they want to address? What are they trying to address for the consultancy problem? For the consultancy problem is you can identify once you visit the organization, once you interact, then you can propose a consultants that even the organization never identified that this is the problem they are facing. So you may identify yourself as a consultancy. But again, once it comes to be a problem statement should be, as I said students, most of the people, many people join PhD without knowing the problem they are trying to address. They only have a topic. That is, for me, I say it is a wrong approach. It is wrong approach. The best approach, you must know the problem. What this society is facing. What is this village facing? What is this district facing? What is this nation facing? Out of that, I develop analysis that they are having these kind of problems. This is what is happening. And you are coming up with now, out of that analysis of the problem, now you develop a topic. Because a topic will be derived from the problem. You cannot develop a topic, then you start designing the problem statement. This is where you find most of the people don't know what they are addressing. So for consultancy problem, you can derive as you keep on interacting with the people from the organization. I will give you the example by myself. I did one of the consultants that was related with the, for example, with this course that we are having, military science and strategic studies. I got out of interaction in the street. We just discussed. Then after discussion, then because you are aiming at getting the consultants, then it is where now you facilitate, you influence someone that we can do A, B, C. You make negotiations to make sure it happens because it is a problem for them. But they could not know whether they have somebody who can address the problem. So you become one of them. So this is the example you can use. Or the organization can identify itself and it can express that we have this kind of problem. We want someone who will come and address this problem. So you will read their terms of reference. You read their terms of reference and you agree to the terms of reference, then you can move ahead in terms of making analysis and work according to their direction. So this is very different from the way we are looking at the research. Like, for example, today, as I have said, we have problem of COVID-19. COVID-19 is facing the country. And somebody from logistics can look COVID-19 from that direction. Somebody from economics can look at COVID-19 in that direction of liquidity and those kind of measurement of what is happening and so on. What should be the strategy to survive in times of COVID-19 when it comes to liquidity issues and so on. But you need to know this is the problem, make analysis, then you identify a topic out of that, then that is the best practice. But I'm saying, that's why even our students, you ask them, they can give a topic. These are traditional topics that everybody has been doing it since 1947. People have been doing it. We need to get some new stuff, and new stuff should be coming from people. New stuff should be coming from the district. New stuff should be coming from the nation. So our research must be linking with the nation. You own that problem. You say, I have addressed this way. You can present that problem that at the end of the day, you say, I think a nation can come out of this situation because of using, once they use this type of strategy, they will come out of problem they are facing. So it is very important our research should be connected to the problem that people are facing. For other problems that, for example, you have the IT people or the computer science people, they are developing their own approaches. For them, they have to think more in terms of innovation. But again, innovation will only come once there is a problem people facing in a practical sense. So you can innovate the software, you can innovate the e-commerce, you can innovate so many things that are related to security issues. That this is the problem. You know, people can hijack even the bank account. People can hijack the CRDB. You see. So that with that will bring for them will bring about innovation. They will discover a problem statement out of that. So for me, that is what I consider. We should guide our students in terms of the problem that is happening. And that's why we find everybody is writing traditional topic: inflation, exchange rate, share price, inflation, stock, debt. These are traditional topics that everybody have it. What is new are we coming up? Yes, it is true. We are adding very little to the board of knowledge. We are adding very little, but that little must be linked with the nation itself, must be linked with the nation itself. And it must be relevant from society point of view. It must be relevant. It must be relevant. It must be relevant. Yes.
Yafet?
Yes, I have satisfied, and I thank for the comments.
Thank you very much. Now, on your route to PhD, you should also understand that when you are doing your research, if you are doing your research based on the either quantitative or qualitative, or you mix both, you should get some time to develop video. You should get some time to develop video. Get some time to develop video. So you can have participatory video contained in your PhD journey. Like by myself, I did this and I had to produce video. So I had to take people from studio at the end of the day. But of course, I had to do shooting with them, and you own the results, you own the topic, you own everything, and it remains a memory for yourself. It remains a memory for the nation. At one time, you will say, whatever you see being addressed in the nation, you say, I have contributed to this one. And also make sure once you get findings, you should be capable of communicating to respective officials. They should know that at least you have addressed this one. You give them solution to the nation, because at the end of the day, the PhD you are doing it's very, very much valuable to the nation. It is adding contribution to the nation. So key people, they should have your report. Key people, make sure the key people, they have your report. They can read, they can use it for political reasons. They can use it anyhow. So you should be sharing this. You should be sharing this. Don't hide it. But for those whom you think these are the key stakeholders, at least they should get your report after successful pass of your PhD thesis. Is that okay? Is there any other question maybe? Is there another question? Kasmir, there's no another question. Should we go into proposal or we reserve it next time? I think for proposal, we need to get some times again, because as we set our time now, it is 4:06. So we are closing today. And we will come back and discuss the proposal writing for PhD next time. We will focus that one. I wish to thank you very much for your participation, and it has been fantastic and to explain this one. And as I said, this is not the only journey that somebody is using it. Everybody has his own journey. And we need to appreciate everybody's journey. Somebody has 2 years, somebody has 3 years, somebody has 4 years, somebody has 6 years, and so on. Appreciate, because we are not the same. I wish to say thank you very much for your active participation until we meet next time. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your time.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Moitete, for good presentation. I've enjoyed the lecture. I do believe also the rest, they felt the same. So we will meet next time for your proposal presentation. But also like to ask other member, if you wish to provide us any public lecture, we are here to support you and welcome and give you a platform to share with others what you have. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Sana.
It's okay. Oh, Chongolo.
Now,
How is Babati?
hello.
Yes, yes,
Babati is
Chongolo.
fine, we thank God. We're fine. Babati is fine, we thank God. We're okay. How's Arusha?